But listen, guys, you'd think that with all these gory, grotesque details, certainly the trial would be the trial of the century. It'd be widely covered. Remind us of what the media did with the Kermit Gosnell trial.
They decided to ignore it. I mean, and it's very, very simple for any of your listeners. And the New York Times have tried to defend themselves. CNN and all these people have. It's very, very easy nowadays. Go online. Phelim was there in the courtroom. There were nobody was there. Nobody covered this trial.
But Phelim, what did they? When CNN says they try to defend why they didn't cover this and why the New York Times and what do they say?
Well, they say we did cover it, right? But they covered the initial grand jury release on page 17, 4 paragraphs, and then nothing. I walked into that courtroom, the Kermit Gosnell court case, and there are photographs. You can look at them online. There are these photographs. I'm a crime reporter. I'm a crime journalist. That's where I started off, and that's where I spent a lot of my career. I covered the Troubles in Northern Ireland. I covered Eastern Europe. I've covered a lot of horrible places. Not that Northern Ireland or Eastern Europe are horrible places, but
we got it.
The photographs I saw in that court case were among the most shocking I have ever seen. Right, but equally as shocking is I'm sitting there and the press benches are empty.
That's what's so, and there's pictures of empty press benches where they held seats for media for the trial who didn't show up. Now, Ann, let's face it, we know what's going on. I mean, night after night, we'll be treated to the crime story of that. Who's the woman that
Jodi Arias?
Jodi Arias. Yeah. I mean, that kind. But this gets ignored. Yeah. Let's face it, we know what's going on here, guys. It involved an abortion doctor, and the media was not going to touch a story about a serial killing abortion. Doctor,
I think
they weren't going to touch a story anything that may cast a ugly spotlight on abortion. Right. That's what.
Right.
And one of the things that's interesting about it is, and it's certainly going to come out in the film, is that what this guy did. Obviously, the children were born alive. He killed them after they were born. They cried. They moved about. They tried to protect themselves from the light. The testimony is all there. All of that.
This is all from the transcripts.
And this is all from the transcripts. We're not making anything up. We have no need to make anything up. But here's the thing and this is the reason I think pro-choice people didn't want this film made, and a lot of the media colluded with them on that. Is it brings to light the fact that, as Kirsten Powers very, very beautifully put in her USA Today column, so it's terrible that he did that. Oh my God, the children were born alive and they cried. Yeah. And she's saying, well, it's morally irreconcilable. If you think that's bad, then why is it okay to do it in the womb? And basically what Kermit Gosnell did was just geographically a few inches in a different way, and it would have been legal.
But that's the problem. That's the whole point.
Yeah. And that's the point. If you are covering this case properly, you have to point out that this is actually, and they do it in the case, and we will have that in the film. They had an abortion doctor who came on the stand for the defense, and the question to him was, how long have you been doing this? And 30 years, whatever it was. How many children do you think you've aborted? How many abortions have you done? 30,000. And the jury gasped. Jury gasped. And then what the defense did, they went through and they got him to explain how abortions were done. And that's one of the things that we're going to do in this film, because people don't know. People should know. As you said at the very opening, if there's nothing wrong with this, why is everyone not talking about it?
Right.
Why don't we have an open conversation about how abortions are performed? Let's have it all out in the air. Why don't people say things like, oh, are you having an abortion today? Why are they not casual about it if it's such a good idea?
Because it cuts right to the core of what somebody believes when they say they're pro-choice.